All right, guys. I wanted to do this because I've seen no other reviews of this. I went in completely blind, essentially. I have no other voices, I guess, steering me in one direction. But I watched Halloween Ends last night, and
What the fuck is this shit?
it's such a weird movie. It's almost like two different movies in one, if not three. It was almost like it was written by just people that weren't in contact with each other. The best way I can put it. So a lot of you guys don't know this. This is a Call of Duty channel. I'm trying something new. So like this video if you want to see more. But I'm a lifelong horror fan. I have been watching horror movies since I was a kid. I've made my own YouTube horror series. It's very popular among Russians. I don't know why. But I think that maybe my opinion may hold some more weight than the average Joe just saying, well, this sucked because Michael Myers isn't in it. So Halloween Ends, it starts out pretty weird. Like, it doesn't really pick up from where the last one left off. It's 4 years later. There's a new character, Corey, and he is a babysitter, and he ends up accidentally killing a kid. And the whole town hates him. Like, he gets off on the crime. He's fine. It's an accident. But the whole town hates him. So there's that. And also, starts out with Laurie talking about being a grandma now. Like, she's just transitioned essentially to being a grandma. And that's fine, whatever. But it feels a little weird. It's a little jarring. It doesn't really, flow from Halloween Kills into Ends. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like, I don't even know. It feels like it shouldn't be a part of this trilogy, is the best way I can put it. So it starts out like that, and it also starts out with this new character being introduced, and he's got an interesting story. So Allison, Laurie's granddaughter from the previous movies, she takes a liking to Corey, even though the whole town hates him, and they start this romance thing. But he's getting continually bullied by the town, and they're turning him into an asshole or whatever. The way it goes about this is a little, again, jarring because there's not really much Michael, and there's no real explanation on where the fuck he is. So it's focusing on these new characters, and at first I wasn't really digging it, right? At first I'm just kind of like, well, okay, this is confusing, but I'm just going to see where it goes. And once he loses the glasses and gets thrown over the bridge, the character Corey, that's when it gets really interesting. Michael shows up, some stuff happens. It's not really explained, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be overtly explained. You just need to build on things visually or hint at certain things as the story progresses, and it does do that to a point. So once that happens, once Michael Myers and Corey interact, that's when the movie gets really good. And here's the thing. I loved this movie from basically that point on until the end where they fucked it up. This was the best movie of the trilogy for maybe half of it, an hour. It was really good. They were trying something new, and I get it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I have been wanting to see this as a lifelong horror fan forever, but directors, writers, studios, publishers, whatever, are too pussy to do it. And they've been doing this cock tease bullshit since the 80s, where they'll tout this new killer, right, to continue the series, but they never fucking do it. Ever. Friday the 13th, Part 5. Tommy Jarvis. At the end, he's in full-on, Jason Voorhees hockey mask. He's got a knife, and it's teasing that he's gonna kill somebody. He's gonna become the new blood, the new fucking killer, and they don't fucking do it. Why? They're just too pussy to do it. So they write it that way, but then they're just nah, that won't work. So why even write it that way? The next movie, he's back to being regular Tommy. Whatever. They did it with Halloween. Jamie, the original Halloween franchise or whatever. Jamie, Michael Myers' niece, they tease that as well. Okay, she's going to become the new evil. They tease it. At the end of the movie, nothing fucking happens with the next movie. They never follow up on it. It's they're too scared to do it. And I fucking thought, finally, we're going to get a new killer that makes sense here. So just to explain what I'm talking about, Michael Myers does this thing to Corey where he grabs him, and he kind of the best way I can put it is he imbues him with evil. It's the nerdiest way I can put it, but he imbues him with evil, and then they keep saying uh, they could see Michael in him. Like certain characters, like Laurie and other characters in the movie, will say like they could see Michael Myers when they look into his eyes. Does that make sense? So it's almost like he's put himself into a new body. If you've ever seen Jason Goes to Hell, kind of like that, but not as goofy, you know? And there's this weird connection they have where, like, Corey brings Michael a victim and Michael kills him. Michael's been living under, like, a hobo bridge, by the way, for the past 4 years. That's not really explained either. I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to live a quiet life and retire after kicking ass in the last movie. I'm not sure. But, like, you know, when he sees Corey, he doesn't kill him. He imbues him with evil or whatever. I guess he sees what he did in the beginning where... But anyway, it goes on, and Michael and Corey had this connection, and they end up, like, tag teaming eventually. Like, Corey just straight up murders someone. Michael shows up. Like, they're building to this fucking connection and, like, tag team with the two. And it's kind of cool. I get it's not everyone's cup of tea, and they just want to see Michael doing shit. But this is something different. They can't make the same movie over and over. I applaud them for trying this. Like, it was really good until they fucked it up. So, Michael and Corey are making this connection. Eventually, Corey just comes and has like a wrestling match with Michael. This part doesn't make a lot of sense, but he has like this wrestling match with Michael and just takes his mask. And he's a mechanic, so he already has a mechanic outfit, you know, so he looks just like him. And he becomes like Michael Myers himself. And as he's doing this, and sorry if this is convoluted, but this is how the fucking movie is, so forgive me. But as he's doing this, like he's getting the Michael Myers powers. Like he's becoming impervious to damage. It shows like his wound on his hand healing and stuff like that. Like he's more juggernautish, we'll say. And he puts on the Michael Myers like gear, and he just goes ham and kills a bunch of people, a bunch of bullies from earlier in the movie that tried to hurt him. So he does that, and it's really cool, actually. You know, you think it's gonna lead up to Allison and Laurie versus Michael and Corey, and that's what the whole fucking movie's building to. Like, Corey is essentially the main character. Like, he's the main antagonist. We don't see a lot of Michael. We really don't. So you think it's gonna build up to this big crescendo at the end, but it fucking doesn't. And this is where the movie falls off the cliff. So the first little bit, it's a little jarring. I didn't really like it, but it slow burned into something I liked. At the end, Corey gets shot. Like, he's got the Michael kind of powers, you know what I mean? Like, he gets shot and he kind of just laughs it off. And the guy playing him, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but great actor. Like, he's carrying this fucking movie, honestly. Like, he's doing a great job. And he gets shot by Laurie like twice, you know, and then he ends up like killing himself. Like, he stabs himself in the neck or something. And he says something like, if I can't have Allison, no one will, because they have this romantic relationship. Again, this is all very convoluted, and I'm sorry for just dropping details in. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But the whole movie is kind of like this. Like, there's just all this stuff going on. And it's cool if it leads to something, right? But he ends up like killing himself, except he doesn't. And it looks like he does, but then he comes back to life, but then Michael kills him, and it makes no fucking sense. Like, that's where the movie just dies. It's like they kill it off. They kill off the whole fucking idea, the whole point of the goddamn movie. They just end it. And then they do the Michael Laurie showdown for like the fucking upteenth time. It's just two senior citizens fighting, essentially, at this point. I don't know why they built up to this tag team match, essentially, of Laurie and Allison versus Corey and Michael. That would have been fucking cool. You know, like, it's a horror movie. It doesn't have to follow the same formulaic, like, take every single time, but that's what they fucking defaulted to at the end. It's like they just got cold feet at the very end. They're like, no, this isn't going to work. And what should have happened, truthfully, what should have happened here? This is the last Halloween movie. Laurie ends up killing Michael. Laurie and Allison do. After Michael kills Corey. And it's very definitive. I kind of wanted to see both Laurie and Michael die, because you need both for the Halloween series to kind of exist, I think. You know, like, you need the good and you need the bad. If you're going to end the series, kill them both. But it's just Michael dying. Laurie has a happy ending. It's fine, but there's no. They could have done like Michael and Laurie die. Corey does not definitively die. He's like the new Michael, and then they do this Alice and Corey spinoff thing. You can call it the Shape. You know, like the whole point of this character, like Michael Myers, is that it could be anyone. It's a man under a mask. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to have like this concrete identity or whatever. So it could be a whole new series. But again, they fucked it up. They fucked it up. And I've seen a ton of movies do this. There was this really good movie called Head Count. If anyone's ever seen Head Count, it's so fucking good until the end, and they show what they shouldn't have shown, and it's like bad CG. And I've seen so many movies do this where they just either pussyfoot around something and chicken out and don't do what they set out to originally do. I don't know if that's like the movie studios just like canceled the original ending and they had to film something different. I don't fucking know. All I know is that it fucking sucked. And I just don't get it. Like, you build up 90% of the movie to this very obvious yet entertaining climax, and then you don't deliver. And again, the first 30 minutes of the movie aren't very good because it just kind of throws you into this whole new scenario, you know? It's jarring. But I can forgive it because I thought it was trying something new and it was going in a completely different direction and it was going to transition the series over to something else, like a spinoff. And it could have fucking worked because the actor that plays Corey he's great. I can't speak more positively about his performance. He's the best part of the movie. And the kills are great when they are happening. And I don't know. It's like the best, worst movie I've ever seen. I don't know how else to describe it other than that. I don't know, guys. I just want to give a quick review of Halloween Ends. If you've seen it, let me know your comments below. This is a very like jumbled, non-scripted review of the movie. I just wanted to kind of rant while it's fresh on my mind. If I had to give it a rating, honestly, like, it's so hard to rate because some of the movie's so good and some of the movie's so bad. It's just poorly executed. I'd probably call it right down the middle, truthfully. I think for the middle section, like the hour of the middle section, it's like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Like, it's that good. And then the beginning and the end are like a 3 or a 4. I don't know, man. It's a strange one. Of all the movies to exist, it certainly was one of them. Disappointing, though. Disappointing. I expected better. And I'm not looking for the fucking Godfather here when I watch these movies. I'm not. You know, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, they were both fine. Like, I enjoyed them for what they were. This, however, had so much potential and they fucking ruined it, which is almost worse than if it was just bad. Or if it was just, like, formulaic, you know? So, anyway, guys, those are my thoughts. Leave a comment below with your thoughts. And I will catch you on the next one. If you guys want to see more of this, by the way, let me know. This is just something different I'm trying. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
I appreciate it, Nick. I'm sorry if I'm a little fucking snippy. I'm hurt and I'm old and I'm fucking tired and I work with fucking children.